And right now we're headed off to St Ives to look for yummy things to eat. We're here on a mission to get delicious scones at a place that we heard recommended from a Rick Steves blog about the best scones in the world. So we are searching out that place, gonna have a Cornish cream tea, maybe even try the jam on first. Let's see how it goes. Here is the location of the reputed best scones on earth, a cafe on a main street in St Ives called the Digi. To be fair, this cafe rose to fame under another name and has changed owners, but I was assured that the same delicious food was being served and their online reviews were stellar, so I was excited to try the best scones ever. My first time eating a cream tea in Cornwall. Jam on first. This scone is not the best I've had. The jam on first. Too much jam. Too hard to put enough cream on it when you have all that slippery jam layer down first. Sorry, Cornwall. I think the Devon way is better. I didn't want to say this on camera in the restaurant, but that scone was dry and crumbly and not tasty. And the restaurant was really stingy with the amount of cream and jam they provided as well. Thankfully, I didn't want to eat all the scones, so I didn't run out. Furthermore, when we ate there in mid-September, we were unable to eat outside, which was our first preference. And when we had to eat inside, and I didn't see any of the staff members wearing masks, I was really uncomfortable. That only contributed to me not enjoying my dining experience. We left the cafe deeply disappointed and in search of superior scones in this very popular tourist town of St Ives. We spotted this intriguing take on Cornish pasties, but gave them a miss as we needed to finish our quest to find a yummy scone in St Ives. This spot caught my eye because it had a nice sign and a clever name. A side note for all the Brits who may watch this, in the States we don't use the word scrummy, so it was helpful that yummy is in the title for all the American tourists. It makes it more bilingual. The scones I spotted in the front window looked amazing. Super tall and puffy, very unlike the poor excuse for a scone I just ate in that fancy cafe across town. We decided to buy a scone here to participate in our continued taste test. Then, against my better judgment, I stopped by this shop. I have always been biased against the Cornish bakery chain, as I mentioned in my Foy vlog. It just seemed like a big chain, and therefore I was skeptical that they would have legit, really yummy things like scones and pasties. But I saw this lovely assortment of warm scones in their window, and I decided that these scones deserved a spot in the taste test as well. The Cornish bakery also sold us some Rada's Cornish clotted cream to go with our scones. I was happy to see that it was produced in Cornwall and wanted to give it a try. Please let me know in the comments your favorite type of clotted cream. Don't say homemade, because I think most of us are just too lazy for that. So I need to have a bit of a wine because I came here to St Ives with a very specific objective of having the best scones anywhere, from a scone expert who had recommended this particular place. I filmed what happened with that cream tea. I didn't want to talk while I was sitting in there because it was actually a really pretty severely disappointing experience. I'm usually not one to complain about service, but the server and hostess honestly acted like they didn't want us there. We came initially and they said, "We're not serving for another hour, come back at 12:30, so we did. I came back a little bit before that. We're thinking at least we'll get warm, fresh scones right out of the oven. So we had a cream tea. We needed to do the whole jam on first thing. So they bring out these two scones and then this meager little amount of jam and meager little amount of clotted cream, which was really cold and thick and impossible to spread on top of the jam. from that place, we went to the Yummy Grummy Bakery and looked in the window and saw these very tall scones. So I'm gonna try a bite of one of these. That's pretty good, better than the other place. And then we went to the Cornish Bakery, and this is just a chain that's everywhere. Not normally the kind of place I would go. Their scones in the window looked really big and puffy and soft, and this one's actually still warm. This is what a scone is supposed to be like. It's soft and fluffy and tender and not all dry. Even without the clotted cream on it, it's still edible and good. And of course, I do have clotted cream. Classic Cornish clotted cream. I'm stepping out of the wind for a second just to reiterate that this scone from the big chain bakery, the Cornish bakery, is like a billion times better than that fancy little tea shop place we went to. And even though the Cornish clotted cream was in a little tub, it's delicious. And the scone is so good. Like, I actually want to eat this whole thing. Major epic fail at Source Kitchen, gotta say. If you come to St Ives, don't go there. And maybe just go to wherever you find your local Cornish bakery location, because if you can get a warm scone, 10 out of 10. So to recap, my advice is this: whether you are in St Ives or somewhere else, go to the Cornish bakery, get whatever scones are warm from the oven, and try the Rhoda's clotted cream with jam on the bottom or the top, whichever you want, and let me know how it goes. Please return and report. If you haven't seen this video of mine, please check it out. I tell the history of afternoon tea and educate my fellow Americans on my biggest pet peeve about tea terminology. I also talk about clotted cream because I admit I'm a bit obsessed. Please subscribe by hitting the little otter logo if you haven't already, and check out my other vlogs for more magenta otter fun. Thanks so much for watching, and do something good in the world today.